Carter, we're
Hey,
we're here.
what up?
What's up, dude? Sorry, I'm just trying to still figure some stuff out here, but this looks pretty good. Um, how's it going, dude?
Hey, no complaints, dude. It's good to fucking hear from you. Good to talk to you. We were on the phone yesterday just catching up, and we started catching up a little too much, and we were like, hold on. Let's save it for tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
save the
here we are.
goodies. Yeah,
What
yeah,
up,
dude.
dude?
Um, I'm actually feeling really shitty. I have I don't know, stomach bug or something. I think I probably
Oh,
got it.
shit.
Well, I don't know where I got it from, but my little brother had a stomach bug like a few days ago, so I don't know. I'm just kind of, stomach bugs. You're just like tired and feel.
Also, yeah, I mean, you live with two younger humans, sub 10, so they're always
So
fucking bringing
sad.
something new into the house, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, yeah, dude. But other than that, I'm pretty good. Just started lifeguarding, which has been nice. I'm not doing carpentry anymore, so
Sick. That's a
that's
win. You're looking tan already.
yeah. Well, I also have this orange light right here. Usually as the sun goes down, it actually makes me start to look super red, but I got a camera, a different camera from my friend Pat, so hopefully I don't look as red as I did last time. But
You look beautiful, my friend.
thanks, dude. Um, so yeah. Oh, my sister said Carter, all caps.
What up? I calls up
Um,
front. What up, Lanes? Melina.
did you just try to say I call so front, or is that what you said?
I did. That was what I said.
I call so front. Um, so yeah, just doing that. Just started lifeguarding, and then just up to the same exact thing that I was, probably last time we talked. So, um, but yeah, I've just been doing the stream every Thursday, which has been really fun, and
Hell yeah.
so yeah, and it's been evolving in a really cool way, and it's been evolving through people's um interaction with it, which has been cool.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I feel like that's the beauty of it, right? You have a pretty open format. So I feel like each time you meet up with someone, it can kind of take a different form, but also like I feel like you're kind of like learning what works and seeing what works and what's fun and what's entertaining and all that shit. So
right,
it's pretty sick.
yeah, yeah, totally. Um, so that's it for me. What about you? I mean, I've obviously been following everything or not everything, but I've been following
Everything you're doing.
foot tickler style.
How was
Uh,
your lunch?
um,
How was that turkey sandwich, bro?
but obviously, as it says right behind you, you guys put out a new single.
Yes,
And I
sir.
don't know. Do you want to do you want to give like a little bio or like a shout out to what you're doing and you know?
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so I am the lead singer of a band called Surfer Girl, um, which is an interesting way to put it because that, as you know, that and I got to jam together on a bunch of shows last fall, um, which I'm sure we'll get into. But like, it's been fun, man. The project pretty much came out of the pandemic, which was like, a dark and kind of isolated time, and so I've always produced music for myself and always kind of like worked on in Logic to the program's called Logic, not my brain, but
yeah.
both of those, I guess. To kind of write and create my own music, myself, and pandemic rolled around, and I wanted to do something kind of fresh and new, and kind of take myself out of kind of the same box of music that I felt like I was doing, and was kind of a little stuck, a little bored, not really feeling myself, to be honest. And so the pandemic was a really, it was a really pro and con time for I think a lot of people, but kind of gave me the opportunity to look at what I was doing with music and my music career, and gave me the freedom to try something new and do something kind of completely new, which is what the Surfer Girl project is. It may not be completely new, but it's definitely, a bit of a different turn from what I had been doing. And so I put together this 5-song EP and pitched it to a label, and that label turned out to be Ineffable Records, who is a really dope player in the game, and a really big indie kind of reggae rock pop indie folk. I mean, they do it all label. And they really loved the project, and they kind of got behind it, and that's what started the whole project. So it just kind of went from finding an outlet for myself that felt natural and, honestly almost like therapeutic. It was kind of something that I needed to try and do something new, and it really took hold and gained momentum, which I think is always going to be the best way to do it. With if it feels natural to you and you're having a good time doing it, then that's always going to catch on a lot more than locking yourself in a room and forcing yourself to do something that you don't even like.
Right. Do you feel like that's what it started to happen with like your solo stuff or the Carter Reeves stuff?
Definitely, yeah, for sure. So for those who don't know, I was in a band called AER, spelled AER, which again I'm sure we'll talk a little more about. But after that, we split up, and I had been doing solo stuff for a long time, and it was a really great time. I would never trade it for anything. But I was doing so many different styles of music, and kind of like each song sounded different from the last. And so it was nice that, when you keep trying to reinvent yourself over and over, and you keep trying to like do something different, and none of it kind of catches. um I think that as a creative is definitely a time where you need to kind of like look at yourself and say, all right, well, like, what am I really doing here, and how can I shake it up, and how can I kind of be excited about this again. So
Mm.
that's absolutely what the Surfer Girl project has
Mm-hmm.
become, which is awesome.
Were you playing shows as Carter Reeves?
Yeah, yes, but no. I mean, it was like 4 or 3 really tough years of like no one giving a heck about it, and you know, doing kind of those like pay for play style shows, which I grew up doing in Boston, but they're really rampant here in LA as well, which is essentially just like, hey, dude, if you sell 60 tickets, we'll put you on the bill at this show. And then you
Yeah.
realize only 120 people are there, and it's like, I sold half those tickets. Like, this should be my show. Why am
Mm.
I paying you to play this show?
Didn't something like that happen with Mac Miller?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah,
I remember you saying that.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I can tell that story later. That one's funny, but
Okay.
yeah. So it was a lot of those kind of shows where I was just like felt like I was elbowing out all the other like pop stars, people who wanted to be pop in LA, which is everyone. You could throw a wall, throw a rock out my window, and you could hit 10 people who are trying to be pop stars in LA. So
Yeah.
it was tough. It was a hustle.
What does
And I finally
elbowing out
start
mean? Sorry.
just kind of like you're
Oh, like
climbing and you're clawing your
sure,
way
sure.
to, yeah. And so it was funny because actually like the 6 months leading up to the pandemic were the most active like times for the Carter Reeves project. And we were getting a bunch of shows. We started to get some good touring looks, and kind of felt like things were finally falling into place. And then of course the pandemic hit, and that just like totally just stopped everything for music, and made every artist need to like look within and be all up on the internet and like all this crap. And I don't like doing that. I'm not great at that. um I guess it's kind of a trade-off, but I was just like, it just kind of killed all the momentum that project had, I feel like.
Mm.
Uh, so it was time to regroup and go back to the drawing board.
So do you feel like Surfer Girl was kind of like not an amalgamation, but like a sort of coming together of what you the music you really wanted to make in a sort of like cohesive way? Because you were saying like
I
your other
think,
stuff wasn't as cohesive.
yeah, I think so. And I think part of that lack of cohesion was in LA, in LA and New York. I mean, just in pop in general and kind of that style of music. Honestly, most style of music. It's, you get into a session with two other people, three other people, one other person, and I wasn't confident in my own production, like playing guitar and producing drums and doing all this stuff. So I wasn't confident in that. So I was working with, you know, 10 different people for 10 different songs. And so those 10 different songs would sound 10 different ways because it
Yeah.
was completely different styles, and everybody had their own kind of sound and their own style. So I think that's what made it feel kind of like patchy and pieced together.
Why didn't you work with
Whereas
like the same people? Like
I
you know what
definitely
I
had
mean?
like yeah, no, I definitely have my kind of like cast of people that I really like to work with and
Yeah.
would work with a lot. But that's just kind of the name of the game, especially in LA. It's like everybody's working with 10 different people a
Mm.
week. Um, so it's hard to kind of just get like one friend who you really vibe with and just lock in with them or something like that. Or it's hard to get someone to say, hey, can you write my album, like help write my album with me and produce my album for me? Unless you really have numbers and money, which is, hard to come by. So the cool thing about the Surfer Girl project was that was the first project I had ever released that I had completely written and produced myself. Um, and so it was a bit of a leap of faith, right? Because I was like, oh shit, like I don't know if my productions are up to par. I don't know if this sounds good. I don't know if this is good enough. Um, but then obviously with the cosign of the label and then actually having the music really start to pick up steam, it was a nice little boost of confidence and a little bit of validation that like, okay, I know how to produce music. Like I can do this, myself, or I have a strong vision myself. And so I think that's where everything starts to sound cohesive because it's all kind of me and my style kind of making those
Mm.
calls at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say this, which I've said on, I think, all the interviews so far. I know it's a taboo to not have dead air on a podcast,
Oh,
but not this one.
good, dude. We could just sit in silence.
Yeah.
We could rip a 2 minute, 5 minute guided. You never know.
Yeah, dude. I I was working earlier, and sometimes when I say I'm gonna go meditate, I'm like I'm gonna go hit a fatty, like like a
Meanwhile, your boss over here is that and is like, yo, what is this kid about to go do?
right.
No
Um,
smoking on the job, Dad.
yeah. Um, a fatty or a shoddy, depending on how long it is.
Nice. Oh, a shoddy, a
Yeah,
fatty.
like
Okay,
yeah,
got it,
like
got it,
a
got it.
5-10 minute.
A short
Um,
guy, a long guy. We're talking about
yeah,
guided meditation for those who
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they know because they're past the jam fans, so they know what
Yeah,
it be.
yeah. But yeah, so if there's silence, I don't really care, and I don't care if there's supposed to be or not. Um,
Me, neither.
cool. Um, so cool. Is that kind of sounds like a good amount of stuff? Is that kind of everything you would want to say, or is there anything else you'd want to add?
No, I'm
That
done talking. Good stuff. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
right, cool. Um,
No, man, I don't know. I mean, that's definitely kind of like the intro to the project and kind of how it all came about,
yeah.
um, which was unexpected. And again, like I said, like I think it's that stuff you don't put too much expectations on.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff you kind of just let flow naturally, that's always going to be the stuff that, works. You kind of got to be open to kind of got to be open to changing the plan. You got to be open to viewing yourself from a different light. Um, I think that's exactly what I did, and it only brought good things. So
Mm-hmm. Cool, dude.
yeah,
Um, so I never have a good segue into this question. I kind of just ask it randomly when when it seems right. But
yeah.
what's the most important thing to you? Take all the time you want.
No, I know. I mean, you asked you. I mean, you kind of gave me that prep, and I know that that's definitely the the basis of the show. And I gave it thought, and it's that I feel like that answer kind of always changes, um, but it's definitely come a little stronger to me recently, which is like I think family. Um, I know that kind of sounds corny and cliche, and I'm sure you've already had people say that, but do you mean in music or do you mean in life?
In life.
Yeah, I just think there's a really admirable thing about when your family just says like, go do whatever you want. Like go live wherever, go do whatever you want. Like and they're supportive, right? Like that's incredible. Um and that gives you the freedom to go out and kind of explore yourself and what it is you want to do. And that's where you kind of learn really who you are. But I think at the end of the day, you know, having that family is like that's to me that's like really all it is because it's
Mm.
like that's where you come from. Those are people that of course I certainly respect and am all for like a chosen family because not everybody has an easy family dynamic and not everybody likes their family, to put it bluntly, and like wants to
Mm-hmm.
spend time with them. So I think whether it's like a chosen family, people you decide to spend that time with, or blood family, I think that doesn't really go anywhere. And I think that that's kind of the beauty of it is it's supposed to be this kind of unconditional love, right? Like where you could be successful and they'd bust your balls and have a good time with you, and it'd be just as much love as if you aren't successful and you're struggling and you need help and whatever it is. I mean, I think that over the past few years, but especially the past few months, I've definitely remembered how important all that shit is to me. And you know, wanting to make sure that I make that a priority in my life.
Hmm. What do you think it is about family that sort of not like you said, not everyone, of course, but sort of universally has that like just that grounded bond, you know, like you said, doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? I almost don't even know exactly what I'm or what answer I'm looking for, but just what like
Well,
why do you think it's family?
yeah, and I think whether it's people you choose to be with or whether it's blood family, like those are it's kind of the safe space, um, which I feel like especially in music or entertainment in general, like you're gonna move across the country and really put yourself out there and try and be something. Um, you're constantly putting yourself out there in front of people who don't give a shit about you and are willing to just judge you to your face or tell you why what you're doing is wrong. So I think what's nice about a family is it really is this safe space, where again, like it doesn't matter. It's just that that kind of unconditional support and love, kind of like what I was saying, which is just like to me that doesn't come easy and that doesn't come often, and so if you have it, you definitely want to nurture it and support it, and grow with it, and do all that stuff. So
Mm.
yeah, I think it's just the ability to have a place where you can like let it all down. Um, and like not feel like you need to put on a front, or not feel like you need to act, or not feel like you need to please everybody, whatever it is. It's just like you take they just take it for what it is,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the nice part about it.
Like you
Good
can't
days,
really
bad
fool.
days, whatever it is.
Yeah. Like you can't really fool your family. You know.
Oh no, right. And
It's
they can smell bullshit from
right.
like a mile away. And like
Yeah.
that was always the crazy shit too. It's like, partying in high school, like I'd come home and I'd try to be all slick. I'd have red eyes, and I'd smell
Uh
like
huh.
smoke. And there's no fooling anybody, like
Right.
especially those are the people who know you best. And so, you know, I think they do what's really hard for you to do for yourself, which is like tell you how you're really feeling. Like they can see it in you, they can sense it. And also, like, if in regards to family, if you're talking parents or grandparents or older siblings or whatever it is, it's like those people, you know, they know you better than you know yourself sometimes, and they can just like pull it right out of you.
Mm.
And that's always, it's easy to fight back and be like, no, 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 like I don't want to talk about that, or I don't feel that way. But it's like they know, they
Yeah.
definitely know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. What do you like? The cool thing about family too is it's not only like somewhere that you can sort of uh like relax into, but it's also like it's not a space that you can sort of just it is this too, but it's not just this. A space that you can relax into and let everything down. But it's also a space that you can create, kind of like you're saying, like if the people you choose to live your life with, or if you start a family,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you can almost be the root or the foundation of that space, or a part of the foundation of that space, because then you will have a family in however many years, and it's like your kids will be able to feel that way with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's almost like a give and take, like that that sense of belonging
Absolutely. And I
can like
think
come out too.
totally right. It's easy. It can be easy, but it can also be challenging. And I think that's the good part about it too, is like, you know, they can like push you and challenge you and tell you, hey, like you need to work harder, or you need to study harder, or you need to whatever it is. And ideally your family and are people who you trust and appreciate their opinions and their value. And so it's like it's nice a lot of the time. It can be really fucking annoying a lot of the time, but it's nice a lot of the time to have people who do know you so well to be able to like help motivate you, push you,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, and believe in you. Maybe if you don't believe in yourself.
Yeah, I feel like it's also cool, like your family. So it's sort of like your family's just always. I mean, not that people don't change, people do change, but I think in a lot of the time, people are just gonna be the way they are, and
Mm-hmm.
people are like, like you were saying, how it can get annoying. Like people will, that's just how they're gonna be, and it's
Right.
such like for me, it's such a good practice of like, um,
I know what you're trying to say. I feel like.
yeah, I think yeah, just like I like I've spent my whole life. Well, I don't want to make it sound like over drastic, but part of me spent my whole life trying to change certain people. Like just like stop doing that one thing that you always do.
Totally.
You know.
Totally. And I think
Um.
that comes in two ways. Like, I mean, like you always hear, like, oh, don't talk about politics with your uncle at Thanksgiving and shit like that. And it's just like, yeah, because you love this person and like they are all there for you no matter what, and like you love them all the time. It's just like there may be this one part about them that you disagree with, or there may be one thing that bothers you about them. And you know what? Like that's not your job to change. You're supposed to love them unconditionally the way they do you.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though
and I
sometimes it
think that,
might feel like your job.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think
But
that
I agree.
yeah, it's just oh, I had a thought, but I forget it. But
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's no, 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 it's good. What were you saying? You were saying that oh right, right. And I yes, about I mean, I've been living either alone or just like with roommates. I've been living separately from my family um, for 10 years, 11 years now. And so that I think it makes it really easy for you to control your own environment. And like you pick your friends and your friends all agree with you on X, Y, and Z, or your friends all like to do the same things that you do. And, your house looks the way you want it to, it smells the way you want it to, whatever, like all this shit, like you get to control your environment. And I think where a lot of people probably have a hard time is like when they go back with their family or when they're hanging out with their family, they don't get to control the stuff that they're used to controlling, which makes people frustrated. Rightfully so, of course, but then you kind of got to realize like this isn't my environment. Like this is our environment, and so we're all kind of sacrificing a little bit to be here. But it's that much better because we all are here.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, I mean, that's definitely been something I've learned, especially when I go home and see the family. I'm just like, oh shit, yeah. There's all these things I would want to do differently, and for a while too, like I'd go home and I'd be like, yo, mom and dad, like you guys got to be composting and like, you know, like what do you guys, like dad, you got to stop drinking fucking whole milk, like switch over to skim or 1%, like like fucking this banana uh banana vanilla strawberry yogurt is fucking disgusting, dude. Like get some Greek yogurt and like throw some. It's just like, you know what, like this is stupid. Like this is what you guys like. You've lived your whole life, you know what
Yeah.
you like why am I coming in here trying to tell you what I like and why you should like what I like? It's just like
Mm.
that doesn't work. And you just learn to accept it and you know
Yeah.
realize all the good shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like your family is when you're away from your, like biological, like what's your family to you now?
Laurel,
Yeah.
my beautiful, incredible partner, and our dog, Kuji.
Didn't she get a second dog?
Definitely. No, no, no. That my parents just got that dog,
Oh, okay.
but I posted a picture of him because he's fucking cute. And like, you got to post a picture of a golden retriever puppy when you have one.
Hmm.
Um,
How is your dog? Is he
yeah.
still having like problems?
No, he's good. I mean, he's
He's
like
good.
this dude is like a. We swear we got like a lemon. Like this guy is. He's always got a problem. He's
A,
always
a
like
lemon?
allergic to something. Yeah, lemon is when
What
like
does that mean?
it's like a dud. Like if you
Okay.
get a car off the lot, or like if you're buying a new car or whatever,
Yeah, you got
and it
like the
like
fucked up
breaks.
one.
Yeah, like it breaks down when you drive it away from the dealership. It's like, oh shit, you got a lemon. Like,
Okay, I've never heard
um,
that.
yeah.
That's
So
two.
we
That's
think
two
maybe
phrases today.
elbows and
Elbows
lemons.
and lemons. But go ahead. Go ahead about the dud.
Yeah, yeah, no. He's just like he's always got fucking like allergies and all this shit bothering him all the time. So it's always like, all right, we got to figure out this new thing that's going wrong with him. No, he's totally fine. We take him to the vet, and he's always a good pup. He's always good to go. Yeah,
Nice.
but I think that is certainly certainly my family, and her family lives here in California, so we get to see them a lot. So they've kind of become the pseudo parents where you just want to go home and just like throw something on the grill and chill and not really have to be an adult for the day, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. But then on top of that, of course, is you know LA is filled with friends for me. I have a lot of good friends out here who are in music, but also a lot of good friends I grew up with on the East Coast who are all out here, and they've just they've always been family and just kind of continue to be family. And I think the good thing about friends like that and family like that is you don't need to talk every day. You don't need to hang out every day, but like you could always pick up where you left off. And I think that
Yeah.
that's huge.
I find those are the sometimes the closest friends. Like, you could just call them up or see him, like, you haven't seen him in a year or whatever, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
no amount of connection has been like severed. Like, it's
Oh, not at
totally
all.
real. Um, it's just,
Not at all. I mean, yeah, I went like 2.5 years without seeing like literally my best friend, and then we saw each other, and it's just like, yep, nothing changed, same old shit, talking about
yeah,
the same old shit, just hanging. There's a really cheesy line that I don't know, I either saw online or someone told me years ago, but it was like, good friends are like stars. You may not always see them, but you always know they're there. And it's like, oh, I like that sentiment. It's cute.
yeah,
It's cute.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I
Gonna
consider
be the
us
fan.
family.
Yeah. Banger.
So I wrote down a couple of things that I guess wanted to like bring up, or
Yeah.
like,
Hit me.
or just like things that I had heard or just this one thing. I'll just say it, but I remember, I think we were going to Philly, and you were talking about trusting your gut, because we were talking about just trusting your gut, and you were
Yeah.
saying how it's always like it's never steered you wrong.
Yeah.
Um, so I was wondering, like, obviously I didn't know what your answer was going to be to the most important thing question, but
Hmm.
like what, almost like, how does trusting your gut, if there is any relation, like, how does that relate to or fit in with family to you, or the most important thing to you? Like, is there a
Yeah.
connection there or a relation at all?
Definitely. I mean, that's where I learned, you know, I'm really grateful that my family's who taught me about trusting my gut. And again, like it was never like every day going to bed, like trust your gut, trust your gut. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't that at all. But it was like I just always remember when things would get hectic or kind of like overwhelming, that or if I was like lacking clarity on stuff, my dad would always tell me like, "Yo, don't force the issue. Like, don't force yourself to make some decision. Don't force yourself to agree to something or whatever, because you'll feel it when you know it." And actually, that's kind of where how AER ended, which was like a really big, huge thing and like a huge life change. Um, it just didn't feel like right anymore. And so it's kind of a bit of a leap of faith, but on the other side of things, like it definitely turned out to be the right thing for us at the time and in the moment, and definitely the right thing for like our mental health and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I'm lucky that I grew up with like a support system and a family that kind of always taught me that that gut feeling tends not to steer you wrong. Um, and so it's just been like 28 years of honing that practice and recognizing it and trying to reason with it, but also at the same time, because I think your gut acts differently than your head does, and your heart acts differently than both of them do. Um, and I'm sure there's some chakra meaning behind all that, you know. But so sometimes it's really easy to trick your brain into thinking one thing, and then your heart's tricking your brain into one thing, and da da da. But I've always felt that like whatever's happening down deep in your bones, like will either go away, it'll just kind of fade out, and then you won't want to do anything about it because it just fades, um, or it'll just kind of simmer there for a while until it finally forces itself up through your heart and then through your brain to the point where like you go,
Hmm.
oh shit, okay, and then you start to really
You kind of become willing to
live
admit
it.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I think for me, the interesting thing about, I don't know, it's almost hasn't even, like, I don't know to what extent, when I say gut feeling, I don't know to what extent it's actually in my gut, like it's there, but it's not like super clear in my gut, but at the same time, it kind of is. And sometimes I don't
Sure.
want to admit that it's clear.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I mean that's the biggest thing
exactly. Yeah.
is that like you. And to me, it's like it's instinct, right? Like, and I think gut, like, I don't think it actually is like a pit in your stomach, or I don't actually think it like gives you stomach problems. I'm not sure if it's actually your fucking gut talking, but like, um, it is just I think like a broader way to talk about like instinct. Um, yeah, and like you said, man, like it, it'll find its way, um, even if you don't want it to.
Right. And I think that's so, it's like scary, but at the same time, it's almost like family. Like it's like it's so it has so much integrity, you know?
It's nice to know you're human. It's nice to know you have a compass within
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And
Because I think if you don't, sorry, if you don't have that, or if you don't have a strong gut, or if you don't know how to listen to it, or you don't know how to deal with it, then I think that those are the people who kind of end up unhappy, or making bad decisions or doing things that maybe they didn't listen to what their body and their instinct was telling them,
mm,
You got to take a pause on that one. It's heavy.
I've always found it just so it like it's sort of like kind of like you said how it operates different than your mind. Like in
Mm-hmm.
my mind, I might want something, but in my gut, it's not even like a want. It's just a clarity of like a path. Like just not even a path, but just like the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Like and it and what I've heard from teachers and what I've experienced too is it never gives a reason for it for its
Well, that's your brain's
pointer.
job.
Yeah, but I feel like, well, what do you mean it's a brain show?
I just mean it's like it could be a completely irrational feeling. It could be
Yeah,
something totally like not based in, you could be adding up all the factors in your brain and say, well, there's no good reason why I should be
exactly.
feeling this way. Like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah,
And then that's always the internal struggle. And then it
right.
doesn't until you accept what it is that your instincts are telling you, then your brain can start to find a way to explain it and rationalize it
Yeah, good
and
point.
kind of compute it into actual thoughts that you can like act on
Hmm.
or not.
But it's a leap of faith, kind of like you said.
Totally, it's just a feeling. It's like impossible to describe. It's
Yeah,
just you know or you don't. You know,
yeah, yeah. I feel like it can also be listened to in the smallest of moments too. like, do I want a banana right now? But not even like,
Yeah.
if you're thinking about it, like what I'll do, or this is a much better example. That was stupid. If I'm not sure about a text I want to send, or like like say I want to send a text and I'm like, I don't know about this text, you know,
Yeah.
I'll type it out and I'll like feel my body while I'm typing it, and
Hmm.
I'll literally put my thumb towards the send button and
And
feel my
see how you
gut.
react.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll slowly go there, and I'll sort of feel what like just the natural, what it feels like life just wants to do, you know.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
found I've found that, I mean, that can help, but I also feel like that's not a sustainable way to do it all the time. Like I feel like the more I trust my gut, it's sort of like it just flows a little bit more throughout the day. Um, and it feels
Yeah.
like wait, I just want to say one more thing about it.
Please. No, no, no.
What was it?
You're saying it
Yeah,
guides you through your day and it feels like.
yeah. I feel like it's easier to trust my gut the more willing I am. Like the less attached I am to outcome, and the more willing I am to stay in that harmony. Like, cause gut doesn't take you out of harmony. You might think it does until obviously until you listen to it and act on it.
Well, and it may be, it may, if you do listen to your gut, it may send you on a turbulent path,
Sure. Yeah.
but that'll land you safely to where you wanted to end up.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mean to.
Opposed to, no, yeah, but if you don't listen to it and you continue, you're going to always kind of have that shaky path.
Right.
And I think like what you're saying though is like it takes practice. It also takes like recognizing it when you feel it, but also um, it can show up in big ways and little ways. Like it doesn't always need to be something like, oh shit, like do I go to college or do I not? Like do I chase music or do I not? Like, well, what's in your gut? Like what do you want? Like what is it? Um, I think probably more so where like instinct kicks in is to like littler moments like you're at the subway and this person over here is looking real sketchy and they're, hey man, can you spare $5? I'll give you this. And you go like you just have this little thing, this instinct in your gut that just tells you like, probably a weird thing I probably shouldn't do. And so like it just kind of helps. It almost is this like autopilot within you that steers you in a way even if your brain's not working, because I think even your gut even works if you're drunk, like in my opinion. Like your brain is stupid and like is down to do dumb shit, but like sometimes you can be so messed up and be like, well, how the hell did I get home last night? It's like, well, you kind of like lean back on autopilot. Your brain shut off, that's for sure, but something in you knew how to get you home, or something in you knew the safe way to get there. I think it's a huge, huge part.
I don't think that's a small thing. Like, I feel like trusting your gut is this like totally just like whitewashed, or what's the word? Just like we're desensitized to people
Over,
saying that. Yeah, overused.
sure.
Like everyone's just like, "Oh, trust your gut," and I feel like um, it's like, well, what does that mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I really don't think it's like a small or unimportant thing, or like mildly important to trust your gut. I think it's like, especially, well, anytime I think it's super important, but I think it's like it's important in all the small moment. Like, do do trusting your gut in all the small moments makes it easier for like the big moments come, and it's to your
Mm-hmm.
gut, like you still have that same connection with your gut.
Reflex.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Wait, what'd you say? Flex?
No, like reflex. Like it
Oh,
almost
reflex.
just like it. Yeah, it's a muscle. I mean, I don't know if it's actually a muscle or anything, but like just using that and letting it guide you. Takes practice,
Yeah. And it takes
and
willingness
you can
too.
totally, and like you can get better at it in daily life through small, trivial stuff that's not that important, but it's you're still using it. So
Mhm.
we are passing the jam right now. This is what we're
Yes,
talking about
sir.
when we're talking about jam, man.
Yeah, this is jam. This is the jam.
We're in it.
We're passing it, dude. Um, I feel like it can also be like like a full body visceral experience. Like,
Hmm.
if I go to like do something that doesn't feel, um, my friend Pat said best kind of jam.
I like it's got to be strawberry or blueberry.
Mm,
I
yeah.
hate raspberry. The tiny little seeds drive me nuts.
Mm, there you go.
There you go.
I told Pat before because he was zooming me for so I could get all the crops of the video working, and I told him to
Oh, got
ask
it, got it.
ask you a question.
Okay, good. I
So
like
there it
it.
is.
Apricot's pretty good. That's up there.
Oh, I've never tried that. I've tried
It's good.
apricot. Well, I've tried dried apricots.
Yeah, yeah, same deal. Just
Okay.
wet,
Yeah.
just
Um.
wet, skinless.
Yeah. Um. But like, I feel like if I'm not trusting my gut, if I'm moving in a direction that feels like the gut saying go somewhere else, and I'm, you know, in the moment going not where it's saying,
Hmm.
it's like I'll feel it. It'll literally feel like I need to keep my attention in my head to keep going this way. Because if I
You
bring
have
my
to
attention
distract yourself.
exactly, I can distract myself with the reasoning and kind of just go into habitual thoughts about like what I'm doing, why I should be doing it,
I mean, it
and
can make you feel sick. Like you
not
could
listening to
like,
your gut.
yeah, like it can. You can like. I do believe that there are like physical manifestations of not.
Hmm. Have you experienced any or like being sick?
Not like, oh my God, I'm gonna go throw up because I'm not walking down the right street. But like, yeah, like you definitely hit a point where like your body rejects it, like the way you were saying. Definitely
Yeah.
had that a few times.
Yeah. Um. I think that's so important. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Like
mean,
like
again,
what
it kind
else
of
are you
goes.
gonna do? You know.
That's like what I ask myself all the fucking time. Like, what's the alternative? Like, not listen to like me, like my deepest voice. Like, don't listen to that. Okay, cool. How long is that gonna fucking last? You're gonna
Exactly.
explode. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, there's no alternative, and
Right.
like you can fight it or run away from it as long as you want, but there's definitely no alternative.
Yeah. I wrote some other things down.
Nice. Did you chop the hair? I thought like you did,
Yeah,
right?
I did. Yeah, let me show you. It it,
Looks
it looks
great.
from
Ooh,
the
baby.
front. You can't really tell because it's still long. Looks like it's back. But
It looks great.
thanks, dog.
I dig it big time.
Thanks, bro.
It's a good look.
Yeah, I realized it only looked good back, so I was like, "There's no point of
So you're
ever."
like, might as well cut it.
Right.
I thought you looked great with your hair down.
Thanks. Well,
But I mean, I'm not going to give you regrets. I think your hair
yeah.
looks great.
Thanks. I think in October it was definitely shorter and more manageable. But it was like, a few days ago it was like down to here.
Holy moly, I
So
can't
I
see
was
it,
like,
but oh, okay.
I was like that's it kind of started to look it starts to look lazy, I guess.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
hear that. And there's a fine line between sexy long man hair and does this guy care about himself? I don't know.
Exactly. Good point. Because
Yeah,
some people
it's a
can pull it
fine
off
line.
really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, one sec. So I just wrote down this question. I'm just trying to think of how to word it differently, but
Yeah, I mean, how about one second? You think of your wording, sir.
this isn't the question, but there's just one more thing I want to say about the gut. I feel like you can trust it more the more you realize that it's not messing around. Like there's consequences to not listening to it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like the more aware of the gut feeling you become, the higher the consequences get of not listening to
I agree.
it. Because it's like you're out of harmony, and it's just like you're emitting that in a way. You
Yeah, it
know.
seeps into every other aspect of your life too.
Yeah.
Not even just the one thing that it's telling you.
Right. Every aspect.
Totally.
Yeah. Um.
You wrote something down, right?
Yeah. I don't know how well it's gonna. I'll just ask it anyway. I don't know how well it's gonna.
Ask it.
What is your deepest motivating factor to live out the most important thing to you? I can try to word it different too if it doesn't really.
No, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like maybe we've already said that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, definitely success. I think that's where I could say the shitty, shallow thing of like success. And to me, again, like success doesn't mean like I'm some superstar, rock star, musician, like making millions of dollars. That's not success. But I think part of having your family be a priority and wanting to prioritize them is like so much of it is them making sure that they've done a good job, right? And like they're happy with where you are in life. I think the whole thing, right, is like whether it's parents or older brothers or again like friends, guardians, whatever it is, they can look at you and say, "Oh, like they're good. Like I've done a good job. They are okay. Like they will figure it out on their own, or they've already figured it out on their own." So that's where I feel like success is definitely the biggest thing. And it doesn't. Again, it doesn't. Success is different to everybody. So it doesn't mean money and buying things and going on trips and all this shit, but like, yeah, just letting them know that like I got it covered. And I think like maybe the deeper, darker thing on all that is like letting them know that when they're gone, like I'll be okay.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think success again in whatever form that takes is definitely like the motivating factor. And I also think that that's the proof. And I also think that like that's why people start families. Um, Whether it's starting a family again or just like putting together a family, whatever it is, it's like you want them to be better than you were, like a better
Hmm.
version of yourself. Um,
Hmm.
so I think, yeah, success for sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Word, dude. Well,
yeah.
I think that's all I And that's all I got for you. That was I
I
mean,
still
unless
got
there's
like
something you
20
want.
minutes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm still down to keep talking, but um,
Yop it up, bro.
yap it up.
What else? We can talk
Um,
about fun things, lighter things.
yeah. Um, let me see, dude. I just love that there can be silence.
Yeah, fuck it.
You know.
You can eventually, once you have a producer there, he can kind of, he or she can like slide in a little nice little quiet waiting music and then fade it out as you go. Oh, now I
Yeah.
remember what we were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So, I guess how did? Oh, one was the hip abduction at the Asheville show.
Yes, that's where we met him the first time.
Did I meet him?
Um, I think you did briefly. I don't know. He's like a wonderful human, but like has just like long. Does this dude have white hair? I don't fucking know if he has white hair. It's blonde. It's
So
blonde. It's
blonde
definitely
that it's white.
he's not that old. Yeah, David, he's the fucking man. The way the song came about was cool because I mean we were playing that song every night on tour, and
Hmm.
like remember I would just sing the second verse
Yeah.
of like a random verse um,
Yeah.
that I just like had written, and it never really like, but I knew that we wanted a feature on it. Like I knew definitely that was kind of like the beauty of this debut album was it was like so open. Like I left a lot of empty verses and just like empty slots all over the album because I knew that for the first album I really wanted to collaborate with a lot of people, um, for two reasons. Because I've never really done a lot of collaboration. Like it's kind of always just been like me doing me and like never really got features or had friends like play guitar on it or sing like I guess like as a credited artist, obviously like producers and all that stuff behind the scenes is a different story. But like, so I felt like it was a really big deal to me to have like a bunch of features on the first album because it was my first album and like I wanted to bring in a bunch of people. But then on the more cynical side of things, of course, if you're a new artist, if you have a lot of features, then that really helps to spread your name, and kind of spread the word across like a wide variety of fans. So on this album, there's like I've got two rappers and Little Stranger, who's like kind of like rap, reggae, pop kind of thing. Like it's just like I have a very wide variety of features on the album. So that I think it casts a wide net once the album comes out. But David was funny because he was at the show in Asheville. The label connected us, and he texted me like 2 hours before the show and was like, "Hey, can I have tickets to the show?" Which, for the record, in the music industry, is like the ultimate no-no. Like, you don't fucking text someone an hour before they go on stage if you can have tickets to the show.
Yeah.
But I gave him shit for it. He was like, "I didn't know I was gonna come. I'm so sorry." Like, he's funny. Like, I was just giving him a hard time about it. But
Uh-huh.
he, yeah, essentially, we spoke after the show, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, I really like all the music. It's really dope." That last one though, that last song you guys played, like that's the hit. What's the deal with that one? Like, what's going on? And I emailed him or texted him the next day and was just like, "Yo, that song has an empty verse on it. If you want to
Mm.
get on the record." And he doesn't do many features really, let alone with like my style, which is like kind of like rap and reggae. Like he kind of has his own thing. So I was super surprised when he was down to get on it. And then the song you hear today is the song that we came up with,
Yeah.
which is sick.
I noticed you changed. I mean, if I remember right, the bass line for the second verse. Like
Well,
you didn't
so
you didn't keep the same thing going.
he did that.
Oh, he did.
So he's a really sick producer. And so I sent him the stems to the song and was like, yeah, like do whatever you want with it. Cause I know he's a really good producer. So I was thinking like, I was like, yeah, do whatever you want to the song. Like almost thinking like he was going to send back a song and it was going to sound like completely different. And I'd be like, okay, maybe like too much.
Hmm.
But what he just did was kind of like strip back his second verse. And then like he laid some guitars and some additional bass on top. Um, which wound up sounding like really good. Like it's like
Yeah.
honestly, it's probably the best part of the song. And like I had nothing to do with it. Like he just sent it over and was like, "Do you like this? Like, is this cool?" I was like, "Yeah, you just made this song like 10 times better, so I definitely like it."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sick producer. So like when he said, "I got some ideas," I was just like, "Do whatever you want."
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it sounds sick. It's on my workout playlist, and
ooh,
I squat to it
get
and shit.
get swole to it,
Yeah, it's sick.
and then you come home and make a fucking fat ribeye.
Honestly, ground beef, dude. I can't afford ribeye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good looks though. I had so much fun when I came to. Oh my god, I was gonna say Nantucket. I came to Gloucester. We went to Whole Foods. Walked right up to the counter. It was like 8:30 a.m. Got two fat ribeyes. Brought them
Uh-huh.
back to your house, and they were dank. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if I've ever had steak before 10 a.m., but it was. And now I'm hungry thinking about it. Just
Yeah,
hungry, but
dude.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that shit was good, dude.
that was fun, dude. I still
Yeah,
wish you came swimming.
yeah. This fucking Hoffman over here, Mr. Ice. Yeah, no, that
You
was
got on
good.
your nice
It was like,
blazer.
bro, it was windy and dark out and like fucking cold. Like, had it been like a sunny, like 45-degree day with no wind, I probably still wouldn't have gone in, but I would have been less against it. I was just like, you're fucking nuts, dude. Like, yeah, whatever. That
Yeah.
was fun.
Uh,
I was surprised your boy went in too. He killed it.
oh yeah, Kyle. That was dope.
Kyle was a trooper. Y'all making me feel like a wimp, but there will be more opportunities. I
Yeah, for
will
sure.
redeem myself one day.
Yeah, I'll get you next winter.
Yeah, okay, sweet.
You're better.
Sounds good. Oh God.
Um, my buddy Vincent Gigaloni said, "Random question: how do you attract the right listeners in the music industry? Are there any special techniques, any special beats/sounds that make people want to listen to your music?"
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a loaded question for sure. At least the second half of that. I mean, there's a ton of yeah. I mean, I would say like I'll answer the second half first because like, are there any types of beats or like techniques or sounds or styles that will get people to listen to your music? I feel like that has the potential to be a dangerous question because it's like, well, what do you want to make? Like,
Hmm.
if you only want to make music so that people discover you, but you're just making shitty music because you think it's going to be discovered because it's more likely to get discovered, then it probably won't. Because that's like exactly kind of what happened to me with the solo shit was like, for a while, I was just making music that I thought people wanted to hear or that I thought would do well. And then it didn't do well because it wasn't genuine. It wasn't from the heart. It wasn't like, I didn't listen to it and go, oh, I like this.
You didn't
So I feel
like your
like
solo stuff?
no. I did. That's bullshit. Like I really like all the music I put out. But the earlier stuff, like I would kind of bargain with myself and go, yeah, maybe it's not my best work, or you know, maybe I'm not like obsessed with this song, but I think it could do really well, or like I think people will really like it. I think it could do well on pop charts. And that's just like a dangerous way to do it because at the end of the day, I think the shit that works, it does really well, is always a surprise. Like it's always a surprise to the world, and it's always a surprise to you because you were like, "Whoa, I was just like screwing around in my basement, just having a good time," and then we just put it out to see what would happen, and then it just worked. So I guess to answer the second half of that question, I would say like, well, what do you like to make? Like, what do you want to make? Because if you're making stuff that's authentic and real and true, um, then I think it has a lot better a lot better of a chance to do well than if you go and listen to all the top 40 songs on Spotify or top 40 songs on the radio and say, okay, I'm just going to copy these songs because they're clearly trendy and they're clearly like working. But if you're going to copy a song that's already trendy, by the time you put it out and it actually starts to get any clout, like, or whatever, like, it's already going to be old news. And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the people who can just go to the top 40 and copy any of that music, those are people who are already fucking popping. And so it's like, if you're trying to
Mm.
break out, you gotta just do you. Like, you have to just say, like, I actually love this. Like, I would listen to this. I really like this music. That would be the starting point. But then in terms of like ways to actually get people to listen to it, unfortunately, you definitely gotta like put some put some love up on TikTok, which sucks. Fucking TikTok, man. Yeah, you got to do TikTok. You got to do TikTok. Anybody can get their music up on Spotify these days, which is really good. Um, I think having friends and family, like, that is always going to be the starting point. But all in all, like, how do you actually succeed as a musician? You got to play live. Like, if you can't perform live, doesn't matter how many streams you have, doesn't have or whatever. Like, nobody's gonna respect you if you sound like shit live, or your show's really boring, or you don't even play live. Um, Not to mention, live is where all the money is. You're gonna get money for your performances. You're gonna get money from merch sales and all that stuff. So I would say definitely try not to be just like an internet person who just puts out trendy internet songs and then never tours. Um, find your style, do you, go hard,
The interesting
practice
thing
it.
is, I don't think that this kid that asked the question, I don't think he makes music. Vinny, do you make music? I think he plays guitar, but I don't even.
Hey, I mean, regardless, like, even if
I
you
mean, good
don't, like,
question.
it's a great question because I think the music industry is exactly like Instagram is too, where like people only show you what they want to show you. They're only going to show you the good stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to look at like a successful musician and be like, oh, it's easy. You just do this and that, and then just like do this, and it's never that easy. Um, so you definitely just do you, fucking practice and get good and get confident. Nobody wants to hear someone who's not confident about what they're doing. Do it. Because how am I supposed to believe you if you don't believe you?
Hmm. Okay. I have a question. Oh,
Yeah.
he said no. I don't make music. Just thinking about how musicians find their target audience. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, then, like, literally, like, target audience shit, like Spotify and Apple Music, all that stuff, they give you all of your data and analytics. So, like, you can know, like, oh, 50% male, 50% female, 18 to 24 in Massachusetts. Like, that's my audience. So, like,
Mm.
it gives you data, but that's already if you have an audience. But then if you're trying to find out who likes your audience, um, depends on the type of music you're making. If you're making heavy, dark rap shit, then maybe, start trying to push that on that type of scene, or you could advertise on YouTube to people who are watching like heavy, dark rap. Or if you make surf rock, start pitching that stuff to California kids and people who live on the beach. So I think whatever you're into, just kind of like go after whatever that crowd is. Find a few artists that sound like you or sound like what you want to do, and find out who listens to them. And then that's your audience.
Mm. Okay. Funniest or like yeah, I guess like funniest memory from tour or like inside joke or just funny moment. I don't know. I feel like that's it.
I got a good one. I got one good one. I got a few
Okay.
good ones, but we were in Germany. We were touring in Germany, which was sick, and we just got in there. We just landed, and so we were fucking jacked up. It was like, oh, I'm 19 years old, and we're touring Germany, like touring Europe. Like, how cool is that? So we all went out to dinner, got steaks, and we're drinking the like not even the pint beers, like the ones that are like this fucking wide and like this tall, like not like I don't know,
Like the
it's like
pitchers.
five. Yeah, but like in like a stein, like a big mug.
Mm.
So we each had like three of those. We went to the club. We were all drinking whiskeys in the club, like just blacked out. We go back to the hostel. I blacked out. I blacked out, and then I woke up um, standing. I woke up looking out a window, standing, looking out a window,
That's when you became
and
conscious.
yeah, it was pretty fucked up. It was really scary. Obviously, but like like a floor to ceiling window, kind of like I have it like here, and like just looking out the window, and then it's on the second floor, so like the people walking on the street were like pretty close to me, and people were like looking at me and like laughing and kind of like smiling and like waving at me, and like it was just like clearly I was a spectacle, but I didn't realize why, and then finally I kind of like really woke up and looked down, and I was ass naked, standing head to toe, like in the middle of the night in this fucking window. And it was like super lit up in the hallway. So I'm butt naked. People are laughing at me. And I immediately, like, cover up and I start running down the hallway. Then I realized I had no idea what my room number was. I didn't know like my way around the hostel at all. And so then finally, I get to my room, and the door of my room is wide open. The lights are on. My laptop is just sitting on my bed playing music, and the shower is on running. And so, like, I don't fucking know what happened. I have no idea.
Your gut
I
took
must have
over.
I must have wanted to shower and then like been about to get in the shower, and then yeah, my gut
Yeah.
told me yeah.
Get
So
naked.
that was fun. Europe was crazy.
Cool. And just before you go, uh any like funniest from the tour in October? Any like I don't know. What's something you thought was funny or something? Or just ridiculous or I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think like I don't know. I definitely like Thad had an obsession with Whole Foods because it was the place where you could get all your specialty products. And I just remember you being like, "Dude, we got it. Like, can we stop off at a Whole Foods? Like, come on, man. Like, can we just like, can we please just stop off?" And like, I like to stick to the plan. And Dad was like, "Please, man. Like, come on, come on. It's only like 5 minutes out of the way." And I'm
Was
like,
I
"All right."
really like that? Oh, I
No, you
remember
weren't
I
like
think
annoying me. I
Oh,
was
okay.
all like, I was like, "Yeah, whatever. No big deal." Like, it was only 5 minutes out of the way. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was just like funny. You were like, "Come on, man. Like, I need my shit." It's like, okay, okay, okay. And we pull up, and I remember we stayed in the car. Brittany, Carl, and I stayed in the car, and you ran in. And then you came out, bro, with 6 pounds of ground beef, 24 eggs, and a bunch of fucking keto cups, which are like peanut butter cups. And this was like day two. Like I didn't really know you
This
that
I think
well.
this
And
was Philadelphia.
this
Oh,
might have been day one.
yeah, it might have been day 1.
I just remember being like, oh my God, this dude is a fucking savage. He got like 24 eggs. And I was like, the first thing I asked you was like, where are you going to keep that? Like, where we're going to stay in a hotel, or like we had one day at an Airbnb. And I remember you just were like, this, I may be getting timelines mixed up, but I just remember like we were at the Airbnb for 2 days or something. You're
Yeah,
like,
that was in
guys, like,
Raleigh.
yeah, you were like, guys, does anyone want eggs? Like, does anyone want ground beef? I was just like, what do you mean? Like, nah, I'm good, thank you, bro. And you were just like, fuck, I really got to get rid of this stuff. I still have like 15 eggs and like 4.5 pounds of ground beef. I was like, dude, I don't know what to tell you.
I think we
And we
got through all
chefed
the
up.
eggs though.
We did. We chefed up hard that morning, and
Yeah, but not the ground beef, dude.
dude, not the ground beef.
There's a little
Unfortunately,
bit.
that was a casualty. You were excited.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
That was so funny, bro. Good times.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on, and
Of
it was good
course.
catching up, dude.
Likewise, bro.
And thanks for your sincere answer to that question.
Of
Um,
course, bro. I mean it. I appreciate you diving in and creating a space to talk about that shit, because it's always just like the same questions, and it's always pretty boring. So it's nice that
mm,
we can actually talk about some real stuff.
yeah.
But now to talk about fake stuff, Surfer Girl got an album coming out in September.
So
Check
I
us
thought it was gonna
out.
be like spring or summer.
Yeah, me
Got pushed
too.
back.
Well, fucking label, man.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Love them. Love you. And go Celtics. Go
Oh
C's,
yeah,
baby.
true. That starts in like 45 minutes, I think.
Hell yeah, baby.
But yeah, I'll be asleep.
Pass the jam, brother.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on, passing me the jam. So
Yeah. Thank you, dude.
yeah. Well, good luck with whatever's next, and yeah, dude.
Likewise. I'll holler at you when I'm back east, brother.
Okay, sounds good, man. Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you, Dad, later. Pass the
Peace.
jam. We out. Later, guys.
See you, dude. All right.